Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Broken Nose Gaming here. So no World of Tanks video this week. I'm a little burnt out on tanks. I will pick it up when I feel a little bit more motivated to do so. Pay no mind to my dog barking in the background. But while I was taking a break from tanks, I found this app called Temu. And it kind of reminds me of Wish.com, but I bought a lot more on Temu than I did on Wish.com. So I said, hey, why don't I go over all the stuff that I've recently purchased from Temu and kind of see if I wasted my money or not. So I have 4 things here today. 5 if you count this cool sign back here. This sign was actually bought from Temu. It was like $17. It's LED. You can't see the colors all that great on my camera, but it's got a blue ring, and then it's the on is white, and then air is red. So you can kind of see the red on the air part, but that thing was really cool. It's USB powered, and that's probably one of the coolest things I've picked up from Temu. But I do have 4 things here. I have 2 smartwatches, a pair of what are supposed to be like AirPod Pros, and a dash cam. So I will start with the smartwatches. The first one that I found, it said it was an HL88, and I've seen things saying HL88s are actually really good copies of Apple Watches. Unfortunately, I did not get an HL88. I got this guy right here, a G17, also known as I think it's called a T700 Pro Max, which I don't know why you would call it that. But anyways, let's open it up. So, the first thing I noticed about this watch is, I mean, it looks pretty similar to an Apple Watch. Like, you know, it even on the back here, it's got some inscriptions. It says Series 8 watch, ECG, ceramic case. So it's all the stuff that you'd like think a real Apple Watch would have. It's got a screen. I think it's a 45mm screen. I think it's bigger than my, yeah, it's bigger than my Series 4 watch here. This is our baseline. I compared everything to my Series 4 watch. So the first thing I noticed about this was when I went to go put on the wristband, you slide it on, and it slides right on through. Yep, slides right on through. There is no lock for the wristbands inside of this watch. So that was red flag number 1. But I went ahead with it, and I'll see if it powers on here so I can show it to you. So it does not look like an Apple Watch. You can change it to where it kind of looks more of like what an Apple Watch would look like, but it goes off really fast. Here's another one. So it does a really good job of looking like an Apple Watch. I'll give it that. It looks, let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, it goes away really fast. It does a really good job of looking like an Apple Watch, but that's about it. If you go to, for example, let's do a heart rate. So I don't have the heart rate on me, and it's currently doing a heart rate, and it's doing its little sensor. It shows 79. So I don't know how it got a heart rate from thin air. That was problem number 1. And then I went to ECG. The ECG does absolutely nothing. It flashes the LEDs back here, but it will actually never give you a reading on here. It just sits here in limbo forever. So I think these LEDs are literally for show. I don't think they actually do anything. So that was red flag number 2. Red flag number 3 for me was the app. The app that you had to use with it was pretty wonky, and literally after like 2 connections, it just stopped. It wouldn't connect to the phone anymore. It wouldn't see the watch wouldn't see the phone, and that was it. So I was immediately let down. So if you find on Temu an Apple Watch clone HL88 and you end up getting a a G17 or the T700 Pro Max, I would not get it. It's just garbage. This is basically e-waste. Compared to my Apple Watch, I have some stats. I did like a little, workout thing with it. My Apple Watch logged 474 steps. The fake Apple Watch logged 338. The heart rate, my Apple Watch at the time logged a 92. And the fake Apple Watch logged 76. Again, I just think it spits out random numbers. Everything about the watch, like when it comes to functions, is garbage. It doesn't work. This watch is literally like, you could give this watch to a kid maybe and it would fool them, but it would probably fall off their wrist too because the wristbands don't lock. So yeah, this thing's genuinely e-waste. Do not buy this watch. This watch cost me, I think, $15, and I was very let down. So goodbye. Coming up next, though, I bought another smartwatch. Now, this smartwatch doesn't look like any smartwatch. I guess maybe it looks kind of like a Pixel or a Samsung smartwatch, but not quite. It only has one button on the side here, and that's it. And this one was just, I call it an Android because it looks like an Android smartwatch, like, compared to the other ones. But it's just called a smartwatch. It's a 360 by 360 screen. It does things like heart rate, and it has its own app as well. But the screen is actually pretty nice on this guy. And this one was only $2 more than the fake Apple Watch, and this actually works. So if I were to go into heart rate, which we can find right here, if I put the heart rate, it will actually, it's doing a little thing right now, and it actually says, wear watch again. Oh, it turned off already. Wear watch properly and try again. So it actually is looking for a heart rate. So like, if we look right now, we'll put it on and we'll see what it gives me. So I'll put it on my wrist. So we'll do a live test. Probably going to jump cut this. Okay, so it gave me 95, and I'll just show that up there, 95, 92. So if we go to my Apple Watch and we do the heart rate, my current heart rate is 104. So it's not quite as accurate as an Apple Watch, but I also didn't have it fully on my wrist. But yeah, so 95, so it was off by almost 10 BPM, but that's still not bad. It's still fairly accurate when it comes to doing that. It also supposedly can do blood pressure. I don't know how true it is. I don't have a blood pressure monitor that I can say with certainty if this is correct or not. But if we put it on here, it's doing its little magic thing. It says 122/76. So I don't know how correct that is, but take that with a grain of salt. But its heart rate function is actually pretty good. I mean, it's way better than the fake that you'll get off of the fake Apple Watch, but it was a nice surprise. This was only $2 more. This was like $17, and it did a lot better compared to the fake Apple Watch. When it came to the tests that I did with against my Series 4 here, again, the Series 4 had 474 steps logged. This one had the lowest steps logged at 241. Now, granted, I wasn't moving my wrists that much. I wasn't moving my arms, so I'm wondering if it picks up on arm swings for steps. Maybe that was one of the reasons. When I did the heart rate test, the Apple Watch was 92, and this watch was 93. So again, it was pretty close. But the app was kind of sketchy looking. It asked for my birth date. It asked, I think, for my weight and my height. So I just put in a random birth date. I wasn't, my voice, sorry. I put in a random birth date. I didn't want to, and I actually didn't put in any of my stats. It was all random because I didn't want them collecting my data. The display is good on this thing. The vibration motor is really good. The workout results, I actually have a comparison of the watch versus an Apple Watch. The workout results were actually pretty close to my Series 4. So that was a plus. And like I said before, it can do blood pressure supposedly. Again, I can't verify because my Apple Watch doesn't do that. But it can do blood pressure, and its heart rate monitors fairly close to what the Apple Watch does. Overall, this isn't a bad purchase in my opinion. If I didn't have an Apple Watch and I was looking for like a cheap smartwatch that I was gonna just, you know, throw around and use, I would spend $17 on this guy. This thing's pretty cool, and as you can see, I mean, the screen is actually pretty nice on this guy, and it doesn't take a lot to turn it on. It does turn off fairly quickly. There are different watch faces as well. I think you can change it via the app. So I did change it, but this was my favorite watch face out of the group. So this smartwatch, if you find this smartwatch, it's called a ZL02 Pro. It comes in a box like this. I would buy this again. This isn't a bad watch. I actually thought that this was a pretty good deal. Like I said, if you were in the market for a cheap smartwatch, you didn't want to buy something expensive, and maybe it was your first smartwatch or it was a smartwatch for your kid, I would buy this watch. Fairly good. So those were my two smartwatches. Next up are these wonderfully crafted fake EarPods. They're called Pood Ear Pro, and it looks like there's actually another sticker below it, but I don't think I can get to it. Let me see. No, I can't get to it. But we'll crack these bad boys open. And right as you open the box, so Apple-like, you have the instructions. Basically, it's just, these things work just like AirPods do. I hooked them up to my phone. They actually have a lightning connector on the bottom. And when you pop these open, my phone should tell me that my AirPods, my AirPod Pros are connected. I have 92%, and I don't know if it'll show up on here. Yeah, you might be able to see it. AirPod Pro. 92% on the earbuds and 100% on the case battery. So they act like real AirPods, which is really cool. It even has a serial number on there, which is, I'm pretty sure that they probably just backwards engineered like the software for EarPod Pros and threw them on here, but like the case is really similar. There's a charge button on the back. You press the charge button, the little green light turns on. Like I said, when you flip it open, yep, I still got the little notification right here. So the earbuds themselves are actually pretty good quality in my opinion. If I take one out, you can just see here. I mean, they're pretty similar. They got a silicone earbud, and they're supposedly tap on here as well. So I was actually pretty pleasantly surprised with these. They're magnetic. They click in, everything like that. These unfortunately are discontinued, or they sold through whatever product that they had of these, so you can't buy these anymore. If you run into them, they go by other names like TWS, Bluetooth 5.0, earbuds, things like that. But basically, if they look like a set of EarPod Pros, they're going to function like EarPod Pros. Your iPhone will say they're EarPod Pros. As a matter of fact, mine even wanted to do like the 3D scanning of my ear so it can make the 3D sound better, which I didn't do because I don't think it's going to make a difference. But it's really cool that they've managed to make these seem legitimate enough to where an iPhone will pick up and say, yeah, these are EarPod Pros, do whatever you need to do to, you know, get them running and stuff like that. So these were definitely a good buy. They range anywhere in price, I think, from like $6 or $7 up to like $15. It just depends on who you get them from on Temu. But I would definitely buy them again. And our last and final piece is my biggest thing, and I unfortunately actually don't have it with me. It's in my car. And that's because it's a dash cam. Now, dash cams, I mean, dash cams aren't too exciting. I mean, yeah, you have your big name dash cam companies. You have people using GoPros. I did that for a while. But I wanted something that I could just slap in my car, preferably with like a suction cup, And this guy's got a suction cup. It's got a forward-facing camera and a backwards-facing camera, so it sees me and it sees the road in front of me, which is obviously the most important part. And this is a 1080p camera, and I actually have some footage that I can throw up on the screen right now. And as you can see, the footage isn't bad. I mean, this is not a bad dash cam. I paid like $20 for this. It goes for anywhere between $20 to like $23. It just it goes up and down on Temu, but the price is, yeah, somewhere in between that. But some of this stuff isn't quite right. Like, it says that the file format is MOV. It's not. I believe it's AVI. I'll have to double check it. But yeah, video resolution, it does 1080p at 30 frames per second. It has audio built in. I run mine at a 3-minute loop cycle, so it constantly cycles. The resolution for the backwards facing camera is not that great. It's only 640 by 480. But I mean, it's really only meant to capture the interior of the car and maybe like the car directly behind you. But the 1080p camera on the front is good enough to pick up plates, which is what it's meant to do, is pick up plates. And I mean, overall, it's a neat little dash cam, and I would definitely recommend purchasing this. I mean, they just call it the black box traffic recorder, as you can see on the screen there. But yeah, there's plenty of these. There's actually even a 3-camera version of this as well, which comes with a 3rd camera, and you can wire that up to have it shoot on the back of your car, so you can like put it by your license plate or in your rear view, or not in your rear view mirror, but your rear window. But I just went with the dual camera setup because there's already a lot of wires coming out of there. Speaking of the wires, it uses USB-C, so it's actually pretty modern. Most of my dash cams either used mini USB or micro USB. Most of them were mini USB, so they were kind of dated. The audio's okay. The only downside about mine is the casing rattles, so you'll hear rattling in the audio every once in a while. The maximum card that you can put in there is only 32 gigabytes, and due to the fact that it's using 2 cameras, you don't get a whole lot of recording time. I want to say mine filled up with maybe like 12 or 18 videos of 3 minutes. So, but it also probably is because I'm running it at 1080p. If you ran it at a smaller resolution, you probably get more time out of it. But yeah, I recommend this guy. This guy's pretty cool. Honestly, overall, out of all the things that I've bought on Temu, including the sign behind me, I've only really had one garbage item, and that was the fake Apple Watch, which is literally e-waste. Do not, if you're gonna buy a smartwatch, buy one like this. Buy one of the circular ones. Don't buy a knockoff Apple Watch. Anyways, that was my filler episode. Since I didn't do World of Tanks, I did stuff I found on Temu. Yeah. So there's like 20 minutes of your life you won't get back of a guy going over what he thinks is good and what is garbage on Temu. So a lot of people say Temu's a scam. I've gotten all my stuff so far, so I can't say Temu's a scam. I can say some of the sellers are scammers. The company that sold me that HL88 thing totally scammed. And gave me some piece of garbage that I'm never going to use. The company who gave me this on-air sign, totally cool. The company who gave me this live sign, works totally just fine, looks cool. Everyone else, other than the Apple Watch, has been good. So just keep that in mind. Don't buy knockoff Apple Watches on Temu. That's the only thing I've learned so far. Anyways, that is my review of random Temu stuff that I bought. And hopefully in the next week I will be back with some World of Tanks stuff. If not, you might get more of this. Who knows? Anyways, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.